Good evening and welcome to the 633rd episode of Travel Itch. I'm Dan Schlossberg and we are in the 15th season of Travel Itch Radio, the show that lets you enjoy the pleasures of travel from the comfort of your armchair. Every week at this time, we talk to people representing destinations, hotels, airlines, railroads, car rental companies, and others in the world of travel and hospitality, from authors and bloggers to broadcasters and publicists. If it's got anything to do with travel, it's got everything to do with Travel Itch. Our guest tonight is Jackie Parker, Communications Manager and Shellcast host for the Lee County Visitors and Convention Bureau in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida. Welcome, Jackie, to Travel Itch.
Thank you so much for having me, Dan. It's always a pleasure.
Well, Jackie, first of all, let me tell my viewers how much I love Fort Myers. I've been there in March for baseball spring training multiple times, including this year, and hated to leave. Fort Myers covers a huge area of Southwest Florida, from Sanibel Island to Alva and Buckingham. But first of all, what exactly is a Shellcast host?
You were too kind. You were too kind. Thank you again for having someone from the Fort Myers area on. We really appreciate it. Shellcast is our podcast that we do here, and we call it Shellcast the Podcast. It's a podcast that's a beach break for your ears, and you can listen to it wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, but it is specifically about the Lee County area, the Fort Myers area. If you're ever looking to plan a trip or you want to know something about the area, check out Shellcast.
All right, correct me if I'm wrong, Jackie, but summer is your off season. When schools close up north and prices drop in your territory, don't you still get plenty of visitors?
We do, but the visitors, we get the most visitors when it's winter up north. When it's colder, the colder it is up north, the more people come down. And August and September, they're slower because families are going back to school. They've already done their summer vacation in June and July, so it's a little bit slower time.
Well, I know that's what Thomas Edison and Henry Ford discovered. They loved Fort Myers in the winter, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Meanwhile, what's new in Fort Myers and the beaches? We'd like to hear about the Silver Sands Resort now being built and the Margaritaville Beach Resort now fully operational.
That's right. Yes, TPI has announced plans to build a 5-story hotel at the former Silver Sands Resort located across from Margaritaville Beach Resort. It's going to be a 60-room hotel, and guests will have access to all of the facilities at Margaritaville, including the pool, which is pretty great. And these plans will be presented to the Fort Myers Town Council in June. So stay tuned for news on that. And as for Margaritaville, the 7-acre beachfront property opened in December of 2023, and it features 254 guest rooms and suites. It includes 6 food and beverage outlets like the JWB Grill and 5 O'Clock Somewhere Bar and Grill, a spa, and Fins Up Beach Club, which has a stunning lagoon pool where you can soak up the sun.
Isn't the Crescent Beach Family Park undergoing reconstruction that includes addition of new shaded areas?
Yes, you're absolutely right. And right now it's currently closed. And this little information on this 2.25 acre beachfront park sits at the foot of Matanzas Bridge on Estero Boulevard along a 400-foot stretch of beach. And this project is in the middle of a $1.3 million rebuild with plans for final completion by July 20th of this year. So another one, stay tuned to hear about that. Once it's completed, the park is expected to include shaded structures, picnic area, landscaped walkways, new beach access points, and modular restroom facility. So stay tuned for that.
Okay, what about the Port Boca Grande Lighthouse and Museum? Is that back in business?
It is. The Port Boca Grande Lighthouse and Museum is preserved and managed by the Barrier Islands Park Society. And this is a 501c2 nonprofit citizen support organization. They're known as BIPS, and they offer a history tour climb at the Port Boca Grande Lighthouse, which is a very quick trip to the top if you've seen pictures of that beautiful lighthouse on Gasparilla Island. And BIPS also does the caretaking for the Gasparilla Island Lighthouse, and that's located just down the street from the Boca Grande Lighthouse and Museum. During the month of May, which we're still in, you can get your steps in by climbing to the top. It's a 134-step journey, and your reward is a breathtaking view and an unforgettable experience. It's about $15 for adults and $5 for the kids. And for Mother's Day, the Port Boca Grande Lighthouse is having a Lighthouses and Lullabies, and that's actually happening tonight in celebration of Mother's Day. And the kids are invited to come visit in their pajamas for story time, and they get to make a special Mother's Day gift to take home. And by the way, the gift shop at the Boca Grande Lighthouse and Museum is pretty awesome. And you want to visit bips.org for more lighthouse information.
Well, I'm envious of those people that are in Fort Myers now and look forward to this kind of a sunset. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I bet nature lovers would really appreciate Sanibel Island's Wild Mile and the guided birdwalk in Bonita Springs. And what about the Bailey Matthews National Shell Museum and Aquarium?
Yeah, the Sanibel Wild Mile is a mobile exclusive pass, and that gives you the chance to earn points for prizes while you're experiencing nature on Sanibel Island. The pass includes CROW, which is the Clinic for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife, and the Jan Ding Darling National Wildlife Refuge, the Sanibel Captiva Conservation Foundation, and much more. And what you do is you check in at each location when you arrive to earn points and prizes. And when you sign up through your mobile, your passport will be delivered through text, and then you can save it on your phone's home screen. Then when you visit a participating attraction out on Sanibel, you simply check in or show your phone to a staff member to get the code to check in. And the Bailey Matthews National Shell Museum and Aquarium is included in the Sanibel Wild Mile. The rebuilt museum reopened to the public in March of 2024. And as part of the rebuilding, the museum updated, expanded, and improved its permanent exhibits in both the Living Gallery of Aquariums and the Great Hall of Shells. There's even a new octopus living in residence there at the museum and aquarium. Today, the museum continues to serve as a premier institution for the conservation, interpretation, and celebration of shells, mollusks, and their ecosystems. And Dan, I gotta say, their gift shop's pretty awesome too.
What is Parks Points and Perks, which I hear runs through this month?
You're right. Everything is just running through May, right? The Parks Points and Perks, to say that 3 times fast, it encourages the exploration of area parks, beaches, preserves, rec centers, events, and much more throughout our islands, beaches, and neighborhoods. And this free pass makes it easy to visit favorite spots or discover new adventures. Participants have a range of family-friendly locations to visit that include 6 Mile Cypress Slough Preserve and Lakes Park in Fort Myers, Dog Beach in Bonita Springs, Phillips Park in Bokeelia, and Bowditch Point Park in Fort Myers Beach. More than 30 sites are included, so it really gets you around the area. So, and much like the other pass I mentioned, you go to visitfortmyers.com/parkspass and sign up, and the pass will be delivered to your phone via text. You pick out your location and you start having fun and earn points. And the rewards could go to things like a little drawstring backpack. You can unlock choices for memberships, parking passes, which is always nice, or recreation center access. And yeah, you can check in at 20 locations and you'll be entered for a chance to win a grand prize, which is a 2-night stay at the DoubleTree by Hilton Fort Myers at Bell Tower Shops and a family fun day at Lakes Park.
Jackie, I'm intrigued by your island charm crawl, which I understand lasts all summer. Where is it and what is it?
So this is a really fun thing happening down on Fort Myers Beach. And it's called the Island Charm Crawl. I can't talk. The Island Charm Crawl. It invites locals and visitors to explore Fort Myers Beach while collecting exclusive charms from participating businesses. Registration includes an official Island Charm bag, a What's Up Fort Myers Beach logo charm, and the chance to earn a limited edition completion charm. And this runs May to July. and there are 24 participating locations. You can do this at your own pace, and it's kind of a treasure hunt and island adventure. It's a great way to bring people together, encourage exploration, and support local businesses. And you might check out the Island Charm Crawl 2026 website for more information.
What is happening? We're losing contact for some reason.
Are you losing me?
Back in a minute. I have a
I can
slight
hear you.
computer glitch here, but hopefully everything will connecting. Unstable internet. I'm back. Hopefully Jackie will be back in a second.
I'm here. Hi, I'm here.
Could be a browser
Yes, see?
issue. Try using Chrome if this continues. Okay. This is
I'm
a new
here.
one. You're back. You're back. Sorry we had a glitch there.
Yes, sorry. What do I need to go back and talk about?
Well, let's move on. Let's talk about your
Okay.
annual family fishing tournament run by the Lee County 4-H Foundation.
Okay, great. Yes, this is an annual event and it's always a fun one. The fish were biting and the anglers needed to catch 2 trouts, a red, and a snook. And winners were determined by the total inches of fish captured and released. And this was a fantastic weekend and a great success.
Well, Fort Myers is a fantastic place to eat, not only because of the food, but also because of the experience. Let's start with the Bubble Room on Sanibel Island, one of my favorite places.
Well, and you have very good taste, Dan. So the servers there at the Bubble Room are called Bubble Scouts, and it is, if you like Christmas and old movies, this is your place. And also, if you like your beach with a side of carbs, the Bubble Room is for you. There's beach bread, there's homemade cinnamon rolls, and the cake. Oh my goodness, so many kinds of cake to choose from. But our favorite is the orange crunch cake. Do you have a favorite, Dan? I just want to put you on the spot here.
Oh, I just like the atmosphere more than the food. It's fantastic.
Okay, it's so colorful and so much fun. And there's not only the Bubble Room, but there's also Boop's Ice Cream Parlor and Cafe if you want to get your cake to go or a coffee fix, and that's right next door. And then across the street in downtown Captiva, the Bubble Room also has an emporium there, so it's a fun gift shop again. But they have lunch and dinner, all sorts of fun food, and it's so colorful. And I guarantee you won't want to leave.
And I love all the themed restaurants in downtown Fort Myers, such as Ford's Garage and Al Capone's. I mean, great places. Want to talk about those a bit?
Yeah, sure. Downtown Fort Myers is very historic. The streets are brick. It's very fun and walkable, and it's just a few blocks right along the Caloosahatchee River, so you get that water right there. Capone's coal-fired pizza. It's a full immersion of the 1920s and early 1930s Prohibition in Chicago. It's heavily themed based on America's most infamous gangster, Al Capone. Guests are welcome to dine while surrounded by the historic memorabilia of his reign of organized crime in the Windy City. There's flapper dresses, pinstripe suits, and newspaper clippings, and Al Capone's vault, which is, there's like plexiglass on the floor, and you can look at it and see the vault. It's really kind of cool. And vault in quotes. And Ford's Garage started in 2012, and the original one opened downtown Fort Myers, less than a mile from Henry Ford's winter home, which is known as Edison and Ford Winter Estates. And today, as an official licensee of the Ford Motor Company, the restaurant pays tribute to America's most iconic automobile brand by offering a truly historic dining experience, right down to the nostalgic auto shop uniforms and the hand-hammered copper bar top at each location. And they've got about 30 locations actually in Florida, Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Texas, and Virginia.
Well, speaking of Ford, he and Thomas Edison were wintertime residents who did much of their inventing in Fort Myers. Tell us about the Edison Ford Winter Estate and Museum, where some of those inventions are displayed, along with, my favorite, a tribute to baseball spring training in the area.
That's right. You're absolutely right. Edison and Ford Winter Estates is definitely the Fort Myers area it's the most popular destination experience. It's the place that visitors want to visit, and it is, it's got something for everyone. It's got if you're a gearhead, the cars are great. If you're into history, it's got history. You're learning about, botany because Edison was a scientist. And Thomas Edison, it can't be stressed enough the importance that Thomas Edison is to Fort Myers. He really put Fort Myers on the map because he was looking for warm weather so he could do experiments year round. And he certainly found it in Fort Myers. And visitors to the Edison and Ford Winter Estates, they're going to enjoy more than 20 acres of historical buildings and gardens, including the 1928 Edison Botanical Research Library. And it's pretty much as he left it. So it's really a very interesting place to walk around and visit. And this has been open to the public since 1947. And the Winter Estates is a National Register Historic Site. And it's one of the most visited historic home sites in America. And Thomas Edison first came to Fort Myers in 1885. He was a well-known inventor in search of a warm escape. And on his first trip to Southwest Florida, he bought more than 13 acres along the Caloosahatchee River. And then Edison returned to Fort Myers in 1886 with his new bride, Mina Miller Edison. And then for the next 6 years, the Edison family enjoyed their winter retreat. And in 1947, Mina deeded the estate to the city of Fort Myers. And nearly all of the furnishings in the Edison main house and the guest house are original to the Edison family. And one of the things that I would recommend that you check out is the swimming pool complex. That was built in 1910, and it's 50 feet by 20 feet. And it's a swimming pool that is believed to have been constructed using Edison Portland cement. And it was one of the first residential pools. And in a 1928 remodel, the pool house with the changing rooms and a shower and the tea house were added. And it's just a really cool, it's a very cool pool. You can't swim in it, but it's fun to look at and take a selfie with.
Jackie, wasn't Edison the one who invited Connie Mack to bring his Philadelphia Athletics to train in Fort Myers more than 100 years ago?
Yes, it was Thomas Edison and a local pharmacist named Richard Hugh Richards. He was a pharmacist and he was president of the Kiwanis Club, who helped make this happen with Edison. And Connie Mack, and I bet you know this, Connie Mack's real last name is McGillicuddy, and
Yes.
he still has family in the Naples area. And at the Edison Ford Winter Estate at the museum, you can see all sorts of baseball memorabilia, including autographed baseball from the 1930s and so much more.
Well, Fort Myers has hosted several different teams for baseball spring training. Now it has the Boston Red Sox and Minnesota Twins in separate ballparks on opposite sides of town. I especially love Hammond Field because it looks like a Victorian ballpark.
I agree. It's beautiful. The spires, they remind me of the ones at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. And the entrance to it's called the Lee Health Sports Complex Hammond Stadium. And it features just a beautiful entrance that is lined with palm trees. It's so picturesque. Yeah, and JetBlue, it looks a little like Fenway, and it's the exterior is very modern. It's a very modern stadium, and it features a replica of the Green Monster with identical field dimensions to Fenway, and it has this unique undulating roof that is designed to mimic the local cypress trees. So you get a little bit of nature with all that metal too.
The Detroit Tigers don't train in your neighborhood, but you do have Detroit dogs near the Lanikai Island Resort. What exactly are they?
So again, this is down at Fort Myers Beach. It's a food truck near the Lanikai. And the Lanikai is kind of an institution down on Fort Myers Beach. And the Detroit Dogs, it's owned by a retired Detroit firefighter, and it serves Michigan-style comfort food, including chili-topped hot dogs and sliders. And it's great for a quick bite near the beach.
And isn't there also a new bar called the Yucatan Beach Stand that is half inside and half outside?
They've done some, a little bit of remodeling, but it's been there for quite a while. But they did a little rebuilding, like a lot of places after the storms. And there are swings where you can sit at the bar, so that's kind of fun. And it's been serving up cold beer, beverages, and beach food for about 20 years. But it's a great place to stop. It's quite a landmark down on Fort Myers Beach.
And since you mentioned storms, Hurricane Ian, you're pretty much recovered from that, right?
Yes, there's been steady recovery all across Lee County. Just to throw out some numbers, last year tourism generated $5.1 billion in total economic impact in 2025, and it supported more than 31,000 jobs and generated $1.49 billion in wages and salaries. So things are definitely on the uptick, and there are parts that are still in the process, but we've covered so much ground, and people are coming back, and we're so happy.
I love the picture of this bridge because if my memory is correct, didn't Edison forget to put up lighting on this bridge or something like that?
Edison forgot to do what? Put up lighting on a bridge?
Lighting. When it first opened, it had no lights. I believe that's the bridge.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think I knew. No,
if you go to the Edison, if you go to the Ford Edison Museum and look at the exhibits there, they'll tell you about the bridge. In fact, Ripley did Ripley's Believe It or Not about that bridge because there were no lights put up by the guy who invented the electric light.
Oh no, it makes no sense. Oh my God, that's crazy.
I thought it was pretty ironic. So
yeah, it is. It definitely.
Too. Okay, we're talking Fort Myers and the beaches with Jackie Parker. Jackie, I love the name of Lovers Key State Park on Fort Myers Beach. We hear it's a great natural escape.
It is. And in the early 1900s, the islands were accessible only by boat. And it is said that only lovers made the effort to get to this romantic island. So that's how they got the name Lovers Key, they say. So the story goes. And a road to the island was built back in 1965. And the island is 712 acres, and it includes Lovers Key and other barrier islands, Black Island, Inner, and Long Key. And it's located between Big Carlos Pass and New Pass near Fort Myers Beach.
Jackie, what special events are scheduled for Fort Myers and the beaches this summer?
Well, we've got National Seashell Day celebrating our 10th anniversary this year on June 21st, which is also the first day of summer. National Seashell Day offers the opportunity to appreciate and enjoy amazing seashells and the animals who build and inhabit them. Sanibel is known as the seashell capital of the world. And if you find a Junonia seashell, that's the one that will get a picture of you with your shell on social media and in the local newspapers. But it's seashells, it's the perfect pastime for everyone. It's something that's free. It's something that everyone can do at their own pace and enjoy. And it's a lot of fun. And as long as there's not a little living critter in it, you can take that seashell home with you if you want, or you can just put it right back down where you found it. There's a lot of fishing events that are going on in May. It's tarpon season. The world's richest tarpon tournament is going on at Boca Grande, May 13th through the 14th. And the 14th annual Ding Darling and Doc Ford's tarpon tournament is going on May 15th. And that'll be out on the Sanibel Island coast and in Pine Island Sound. And then we've got another one, the third annual South Seas tarpon tournament. And that will be at Captiva Island, and that'll be May 22nd. And I think the Doc Ford's tarpon tournament is May 15th. And then we've also, for film aficionados who want to be a little more inland, May 14th through the 18th, we have the 16th annual Fort Myers Film Festival. And that will be a lot of fun, and inside and air conditioned too.
What are Science on a Sphere and Google Earth Wall? It sounds like they belong in the same museum.
So that would be the IMAG History and Science Center in Fort Myers. It is an extraordinary place. It's very family friendly, but it's fun for everyone. And it features aquariums and animal exhibits, interactive displays, innovative programs, all to inspire the imagination in you. And they also have programs and presentations that advance STEM education, which is science, technology, engineering, and math, and as well as our appreciation for the arts, culture, and rich history of Southwest Florida. So it is, the Science on the Sphere and Google Earth Wall are just some of the attractions, and some of the others are the Engineering Lab and the Science in Motion and the Nano Lab and the USS Mohawk Aquarium and so much more.
Isn't your Darling National Wildlife Refuge on Sanibel an outdoor museum?
It is. It's. I mean, you can drive through it. You can take a walk through it. You can take a tram. It is. It's closed on Fridays. Please know that, because we've got to give nature a little time to chill out and regroup. But the refuge is. It's a preserve, and it's named after J.N. Ding Darling. He was an editorial cartoonist for the Des Moines Register, and he was very big in conservation. He created the duck stamp, and he loved Sanibel, and he wanted to help preserve and promote the nature and wildlife there. And Ding Darling is a huge part of the island, so much so that really 3/4 of Sanibel is preserved and always will be, and a big chunk of that is the wildlife refuge.
Are you looking forward to National Seashell Day on June 20th? I hear your area is a paradise for finding shells.
Yes, we are known as the seashell capital of the world. Here you can do the Sanibel Stoop, or if you're out on Captiva, you can do the Captiva Crouch. And people ask, when's the best time for seashells? When the tide has gone out, that's a good tide. It's a good time. Some people go in the mornings, some people go in the evenings. To me, it's like anytime you're out on the beach is a good time to do some seashelling and do that Sanibel Stoop. Bend your knees just a little bit, and you'll find all sorts of beautiful shells.
So you can set up a stand there and call it She Sells Seashells at the Seashore.
That's right. Seashells. Right, exactly.
Okay. Every day feels like a festival in Fort Myers, but you actually have art and film festivals and other special events. I know the 16th annual Fort Myers Film Festival starts May 14th. You mentioned that. What else is coming up this summer that we should know about?
There is also, if you like baseball, I think I'm talking to someone who likes baseball.
Yeah.
The Fort Myers Mighty Muscles baseball team, they're going to be playing this summer through the end of July. And the Mighty Muscles, and it's muscles, Mussels, the mussels like you find in a shell. It all kind of ties in together, right? They are a single A affiliate for the Minnesota Twins. So they're always fun to go out and check a game. My husband was actually there last night for a game.
We're talking Fort Myers and the beaches with Jackie Parker. Jackie, Fort Myers has always been called City of Palms, but weren't the trees imported from somewhere else?
You're doing your homework again. And it's my understanding that the the original royal palms that lined McGregor Boulevard, they were imported from Cuba.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many hotel rooms does Fort Myers have, and are more in the works?
Okay, I got to look at my information here. So we have just over 13,000 hotel rooms open, and that's about 86% of the hotel rooms in Lee County, which is absolutely terrific. And we've got some hotels that are under construction. And let's see, we've got one that just recently opened is in Fort Myers, the Hometown Studios by Red Roof. And later this year, the Captiva Island Inn is going to be opening. And let's see, Beachview Villas is about to open on West Gulf Drive on Sanibel. That's going to be actually opening in a couple of weeks. You might want to check that out. They have their own website, Beachview Villas, and that's 22 rooms. So that's a very intimate space that's on the water. Some other ones that are going to be opening later in 2027 in Cape Coral, Lake Shadrow Resort and Marina with 48 rooms. Town Place Suites in Cape Coral North with 112 rooms. And let's see, in Fort Myers, the Hampton Inn and Suites at Bell Tower with 131 rooms. And Island Inn is a little bit further down the pipeline on Sanibel with 34 rooms.
Would you say, Jackie, most people come to Fort Myers for the water activities, from swimming and snorkeling to deep sea fishing, boating, and just plain sunbathing?
It's rest and relaxation. It's shoulders down, turn off that mobile phone, and just take in the seashells. Enjoy just the nature and just sort of unplugging. That's why people come here, and we love that because that's what we have a lot of. We have so much nature. If you're into birding, if you want to see a manatee out on a dock, out on Captiva or at Manatee Park, we have so many opportunities to see nature. Take a walk on the boardwalk at 6 Mile Cypress Slough. You might see an alligator. You're going to chances of you see an otter swimming around with his little rock on his belly is very very possible. It's all about the nature and just the relaxation and just sort of going out in the morning while it's cool, maybe having a great going to a great museum like the Shell Museum during the day, and maybe doing some kayaking, and then having some fresh seafood for dinner. Some grouper or triple tail. If there's triple tail on the menu, highly recommend the triple tail.
Let's hear about your connection with Kind Traveler and sustainable travel.
So the VCB has partnered with Kind Traveler. The Kind Traveler is a socially conscious booking platform that gives back to the community, and participating partners contribute a set amount per booking to a designated local nonprofit, and it turns every tour, excursion, or experience into a force for kindness. And some of the hotels that are participating and their partners are Sanibel Siesta Beach Resort, and those proceeds go to CROW, the Clinic for the Rehabilitation of Wildlife. And the Sea Gypsy Vacation Rentals on Fort Myers Beach, their proceeds go to Keep Lee County Beautiful. And the Tween Waters Inn and Marina, proceeds from stays there also go to CROW out on Sanibel. So, these places are going to do some extra good work because of those donations, where every stay gives back, and every adventure too.
Jackie, is there anything I haven't asked you that you'd like to add?
We've got a couple of new breweries. We've got 13 breweries now in Lee County. The new ones are Anarchy Brewery in Alva, and we have Resurgence Brewery, which is right down the street from Hammond Stadium. So you should need to check that out. And also we have Island Hopper Songwriter Fest that's going to be coming up in September. And let's see, we've got that. And hang on just a second here. Yeah, so those are the things. But it's Island Hopper Songwriter Fest, September 18th through the 27th. Oh, and also we were featured. The destination was Cayo Costa. Was featured in Sports Illustrated Swimsuits edition, which is on the stands May 12th. So check out to see if maybe we got the cover. You just never know. They shot lots of other places, but the Fort Myers area was featured in the swimsuit edition. Again, on stands May 12th.
Oh, that's great. Our guest this evening on Travel Itch has been Jackie Parker of Fort Myers, Florida. Thank you, Jackie, for joining us and telling us about your wonderful destination.
Thank you, Dan. It's always a pleasure.
Okay. And viewers, that's it for this edition of Travel Itch. We're back next week to talk Tennessee with Amanda Murphy. Same time, same stations. This is Dan Schlossberg saying thank you for your time this time. Until next time, good night. And maybe it'll actually play my music. Let me see. There it is. Not easy to get the closing music. There we go.